thanks to the support as a channel member, Captain Fighting Peacock. Well, we've had an undefeated start to the season in all competitions and things are looking very good. Is a sentence that both me and Manchester City could be saying, because we've had identical starts to the season. They're also unbeaten. It's also looking very good for them. They've still got Erling Haaland being a monster. We play them twice today, once in the league, once in the Champions League. Something's got to give. Hello and welcome to Club 3, Part 10 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have two big games against Manchester City. First up, we're away against them in the Premier League, and as you can see, we have both had unbeaten starts to the season with identical records, apart from the fact we score more goals than them because we're great. And then we'll play a few games off camera before playing them in the Champions League as well, because they seem to be our big rivals in everything. That's our start to the season, unbeaten in all competitions. Our last game we lost was against Bayern in a friendly. Last competitive game we lost was against Crystal Palace back in May. It's now November. Hopefully we keep that record going today. This is the Premier League table. Both us and City played 9, won 7, drawn 2, lost 0. But as you can see, Erling Haaland is once again the top scorer in the Premier League. But Levi Burrows is the best player in the Premier League and in all competitions is scoring a goal a game, or at least a goal a start, because he got a hat trick in the Carabao Cup. Because why on earth wouldn't he? He is everything I've ever wanted out of a defender. He's 6'6", he's incredible in the air, and he can play an attack. I don't care if he can't really defend. That's not what I'm looking for in a defender. I'm looking for a goal a game, and I think we're going to get it out of Levi Burrows. But let's go beat Manchester City. It's as simple as that. We want to go and beat them again, and this is the team. It's Canizares in goal. By the way, Canizares has won the World Goalkeeper of the Year thing, World Golden Glove, the last 2 years. We've got the best goalkeeper in the world playing for us. I'm so good at Football Manager. On the topic of all of these competitions, in fact, that might be the best route for me to show you them, because we also have the current Ballon d'Or winner. Any guesses? Of course, it's Joe Ireland. Joe Ireland is your current Ballon d'Or winner. We also have the best under-21 player in the world. Guesses? Charles Ilunga. Look at that. Is there anything else that we won? We won We've got the next gen winner as well in Moniz. What's the goal 50? That hasn't been done yet this year. But we've got some good players, which makes me very happy. This is the team. Canizares in goal. A back four of Aketsi, Scalvini, Memishi and Everton Antonio. We can't play Burrows against Manchester City because he can't defend. We're just going to stat pad him against the rubbish teams. Steve is at the base of the midfield, and then Larson and Ireland ahead of him. Van der Winden on the left, Moniz on the right, Ilunga up front. Moniz has been a little bit slow to his start in a Manchester United shirt. Did have one spectacular game in the Champions League where he got a hat-trick. He's starting to pick up a few assists. His rating is starting to go up. We've not seen him have a match-winning performance in the league yet. Today would be a nice day for that to happen. We mustn't put too much pressure on him. He is only just turned 20. But then, to be fair, Charles Ilunga is only a little bit older than him and does match-winning performances all the time. Van der Winden, only a couple of years older than him, match-winning performances all the time. Ireland, look how young they all are. It's basically an under-23 squad. It's so exciting. Let's go beat Manchester City with their old men. Erling Haaland, well into his 30s, almost as old as I am. It's ridiculous. Phil Foden in his 30s. We've got a bunch of old men playing against us. It's like an old folks' home out there. But fingers crossed, our exciting youngsters can just tear through them and open up a little bit of daylight between us and them at the top of the table. Newcastle also having a very good start to the season, despite selling us Ireland last year. We're now trying to steal their left back off them. They've got the left back in the Media Dream 11. He'd cost us about 150 million, but he's a natural left winger who's accomplished at left back and looks like everything I've ever wanted in a left back. So we're going to try and take him off of Newcastle and just basically turn Newcastle into a fancy feeder club for us by stealing their best players off them any opportunity we get. which is what the January transfer window will be for. I forgot to say, actually, because I think this is the first episode since the transfer window closed. We did do some outgoing transfers. I'll show you them in between the two matches, because we have had a couple of players leave the club, specifically on loans. Otter has gone on loan to Lazio. Team Rocket's gone on loan somewhere. I forget exactly where he's gone. Nizinho wants to leave again. The Micho, the big centre-back who was here when I arrived, who wasn't my big centre-back, our fifth choice centre-back, is joining Spurs for 30 million in January. That went through after the window closed. Look at this beautiful football we're playing, by the way. We're not set-piece FC. We can play beautiful football. And Ireland has got a little bit of space here, plays it into Ilunga, and Ilunga grabs his 8th goal of the season. And that was beautiful football. We've just passed that around City. They had absolutely no counter to what we were doing to them there. This was sensational stuff. Great work from all involved. Just about everybody in the team had a touch. Ireland, fantastic. That's why Ireland won the Ballon d'Or at 23 from central midfield. I mean, winning it from central midfield is no mean feat. It's not it's not a glory position, is it? It's not a fancy position. The Ballon d'Or is all about attackers. I mean, he does play on the wing sometimes, and a lot of his goals come from when he plays on the wing, but more often than not, he's just running things in the centre of midfield, both for us and for England. And if he's not England captain yet, the England setup is doing something wrong. There were a few people, actually, when I set out my plan for the rest of the save in the comments, in the episode a couple of days ago, a few people in the comments said they'd quite like to see me do international management to cap off FM24. Let me know your thoughts. I haven't really touched international management in a YouTube save for years because it's not been very good. But obviously it's not going to be an FM25 at all. If you want to see me maybe try and get the England job after we've won everything with Manchester United, that might be an alternative to going and dancing around at another European club while we tread water waiting for FM25 to come out. I'm also in a weird situation now where, as I record this on Monday, there hasn't been an announcement yet of when FM25 is coming, but that announcement could have come Monday afternoon. It could have come Tuesday. I think this episode's coming out on Tuesday, but if we got the announcement on Tuesday, I would have done a video about that. So it's now Wednesday. So if I sound like I don't know what's going on when I should, because it's already been announced at any point this week, that's why. I don't have any inside information. It's very, very upsetting that I don't. And I'm having to record this, assuming that there's been no announcements yet. But there might have been some announcements. We're bringing on Shea Lacey. We need a goal. Endrick's going to come on as well. And we're also going to bring on Gavi at the base of the midfield. It's 1-1, 20 minutes to go. And Endrick and Lacey coming on is a nice substitution to be able to make. Erling Haaland's injured, so he's gone off for Manchester City. We've only had one shot on target in the entire match. City have been the better team here. Obviously, we are playing at their ground, but they have been the better team. And this is going to be Furley's Heilbronn's Premier League debut for us, I think. Yeah, he played a cup game. Came off the bench, but he's been injured. It's not that I've spent 72 million and then forgot about him. We spent 72 million on him and then he got injured. But what I think I'm actually going to do is put him out onto the left-hand side and play Endrick up top, because I think Endrick is probably the more natural striker. We are training Heilbronn to play off this left-hand side. I think this is going to be his natural habitat as his career goes on. We'll have Heilbronn on the left, Muniz on the right, and then Ilunga up front. Obviously, we've got Van der Winden as well, and Endrick. They're all under 25. Poor Shea Lacey. He's so old at 25. But yeah, let's get Endrick central up top. And then for the final change, I think we try and get Sudakov into midfield. Ireland can just drop a little bit deeper. And Sudakov can be the guy trying to make things happen with driving runs out of central midfield, which is very much his speciality. Can we have a late winger like we did against Arsenal? A late winger here would be lovely. City now playing with two inverted fullbacks and a libero. They deserve to concede a goal with a ridiculous defence like that. A sweeper keeper as well. Of course they have. Blooming show-offs. But it looks like it is going to end 1-1. We have a team that we're evenly matched with, and they are also called Manchester. It's going to be a tight title race, and it's going to be very interesting to see how we get on against them in the Champions League in a few matches' time when we play them at home. Hopefully we beat them in the Champions League, because we've had a good start to the Champions League as well, which we'd like to keep going. I was going to show you transfers. I almost went away. Hold on. Transfers. I think I covered them all off for you. Yeah, Otto went to Lazio. Rocket went to Roma. They're house sharing. It'll be fine. Well, we had a little Champions League wobble after the City game, drawing against Frankfurt, but then beat Fulham and Coventry in a little 4-3 spectacular. It leaves the Premier League table looking like this. Good to see Coventry still up there competing for Europe, even though, as ever with Football Manager AI, we gave them 150, 200 million pounds to spend. They've spent none of it. It's so sad. Why do this, Football Manager, you silly goose? But we've got City who have now hit a little bit of a wobble and have dropped down all the way down. I mean, they drew a game. They drew a couple of games. No, they lost a game. There you go. City have. Who did City lose to? They're supposed to be evenly matched with us. City lost to. Wow, City got smashed by Chelsea. We play them now in the Champions League. Let's try and smash them the way Chelsea did. So it's Cannizaro. I think this is my first 11, by the way. Cannizaro is in goal. A back four of Aketsi, Scalvini, Memishi, Everton, Antonio. Steve at the base of the midfield with Larson and Ireland ahead of him. Van der Winden on the left, Muniz on the right, Elunga up front. This is the 11 I pull out for the big matches against the big teams. We are rotating a lot in the league. We've got a lot of young players that obviously need game time. And Gavi, not very happy. Gavi and Hendrick, to be honest, who are not going to be happy for very long if we're not involving them in the 11. Hopefully they don't need to be forced in for the big matches, but they do play a lot in the Premier League because obviously if they didn't, then they'd get a grumpy on and we could do without them getting a grumpy on. With that draw against Frankfurt in the previous round, we've dropped off the top of the Champions League. You can see Arsenal, Man City, both up there on 13 points. So we could very much do with beating City today to push them back down below us and get ourselves up there nailed on for a top 8 finish. You've got to have a top 8 finish. That's a heavy pass, a rare heavy pass from Van der Winden, but he's got the ball back, finds Elunga this time. Questions of offside, potentially. Elunga looked offside to me, but did we get away with it? We're going to have a look at the VAR, look at the replay. Referee has given it, so he obviously has timed his run to perfection. Let's look at it from the other angle. I mean, he has. Oh, it wasn't that pass. And the guy who cleared it before is still playing him on second time around. So it's the left back for City who scrambled away the first one, never got back into line. It's Gvardiol. Never got back into that defensive line and has played Elunga onside. What a rascal. It means we are 1-0 up. And as you can see, a 1-0 win here puts us back to the top of the Champions League stage, where we're supposed to be. Larson now in midfield. Lovely work from him. And what a pass to find Elunga, who looked offside again. Surely he's off this time. Or is his positioning and pace unplayable now? Is he reaching that point? He must have been offside that time. Oh, he's learnt to break offside traps. This is. I mean, it is a great pass, but the run time to perfection by Elunga. I mean, yeah, it is. He's good. Can you believe I signed him to play in midfield? He has become one of the best strikers in the world, and I am here for it, boys and girls. Right, 2-0 at half time. Fingers crossed. This deals with City. They're having a little bit of a wobble in the league. Why is that on there? If we can give them a firm beating in the Champions League, it'll hopefully knock their confidence, kill them off, and allow us to continue enacting our plan to dominate the world of football, which was kind of the plan going into this season. We didn't expect City to push us as hard as they have been. Van der Winden plays it forward to Elunga, who's dropped deep this time. Everton Antonio on the overlap, plays it into Elunga. He's on a hat-trick, and he's not able to find the finish, but Van der Winden is there to collect the scraps. Aketsi plays it across to Steve, and now Everton Antonio with the shot. It's pushed wide by the City keeper. We've got ourselves a corner. We don't have our big centre-backs on, but Muniz is going to float one over looking for this near post anyway. In fact, he's whipped it in. Forget floating it over. It's back out to Muniz again, who I think he already knew it was offside. I mean, he's found the back of the net. It's been another quiet one from him. I think it's going to take a little bit of time or maybe a positional tweak before he rips teams up on a regular basis the way I expected him to when we brought him in. He's still young. He's got time, but he's not hit the ground running the way Van der Winden did, the way Elunga did. Right, Van der Winden has picked up a knock, so Hendrick can come on for him. Larson can come off for Gavi. He's going to have to play as a playmaker in there because we need to have a playmaker. And then we are going to take off Moniz as well. And I think I am going to bring on Heilbronn, put him on the left, Hendrick on the right. And again, try and get something out of Heilbronn. I want to make Heilbronn work. I was excited at the prospect of using him at Coventry, never got to, and it's obviously going to be much harder to squeeze him into the team here, all-conquering Manchester United team. So any opportunity to squeeze him in, he's my boy that I found from nowhere. So I want to make him work. He's gonna get pushed harder than he probably deserves to be. But it is to... Who is that? Is that Scalvini? I don't really want him pushing up there. That's good work from Heilbronn. Good pressing from him. I liked that. There you go. That's worth 3 starts in a row, I think, for Heilbronn, because there is no fairness in football. Right, Ayala's going to come on at left back. We're also going to take off Steve, and we'll bring on... In fact, we're not going to take off Steve. We're going to take off Ireland and bring on Sudakov. Trying to rotate the players who are most irreplaceable, and I think Ireland is probably the most irreplaceable we've got, whereas Steve, Gavi can just drop in there, and we've got every defender we've got can play in the holding midfield position as well. It's probably our most replaceable position, so he can keep running until his legs fall off, and it'll be absolutely fine. That's another week. I mean, Gvardiol not having a very good game at all. I mean, he's done well to come across and cover for the run of Hendrick, but he put City in trouble there. And now they're trying to play themselves out of trouble. But Everton Antonio closing down Foden. But unfortunately, Haaland then doing the same thing to Steve, who is tired at the base of the midfield. Heilbronn getting back and just biting at the ankles again. Haaland, of course, has his inevitable goal. He was always going to score at least once against us today. Let's hope he doesn't grab another one, because they don't deserve it. We want to be top of the Champions League going into the next episode, and that's exactly where we are. We've got the January transfer window on the horizon. We're top of the Premier League, we're top of the Champions League, and Van der Winden's only out for a few days. Big thumbs ups for that, boys and girls, and if you have enjoyed the video, leave me one of those. That'd be delightful. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.